All right, so we'll get rid of this Word doc and let's go to our login screen. So hopefully by now everybody knows exactly where we are, which is the home page of your MyConnect system. So what we're going to be dealing with today is the Web Builder. So easiest way to get to Web Builder from this page is right here on the right hand side where it says Web Builder. So we're going to click that. Once we do that, our web page comes up. So I've set myself up a demo page so we can mess with it without messing with anyone's live stuff today, and you guys can kind of follow along on your own systems or take notes. This video here should be uploaded within a couple of days to the training section. If you're unfamiliar where the training videos are, let me go back to our home page where our tiles are. If you click up here on training, our videos open. There's some on the website itself. There's some on the MyConnect system. And as we get more and more involved here, we'll start to catalog these a little bit better and give you lists of things that are on these as well. There'll be a new one added in a couple of days, which will be this session. So let's go back to my web page. So I'm logged into my web page. How do I know that I'm logged in? In the upper left, it says Hi Kenneth. If I click that, the menu bar shows what the public will see. If I click it again, it shows me the logged in state where I can edit pieces. Okay, so I can edit things on the page. I can edit things in my website when I see these setting tabs and these little side menus. So we're going to start at the left and kind of move over from there. Let me show you the things we're going to cover today. Okay, just so you know how to follow along. We're going to talk about adding a picture to the home page flash. So that's the first thing that we're going to cover, is adding a picture to your home page. So let me reduce this. So I'm on my page here. We've got a lot of nice pictures already preloaded in the site, but if none of these work for you or have something very specialized to your area or have a picture that you'd like to use, I'm going to show you how to do that now. We click on the settings up on the upper left. From here, there's only a couple things that we can do. We want to go down to Manage Home Flash. When I click on Manage Home Flash, it knows that I don't have any pictures in there because I haven't loaded any pictures on my own. So there's no existing pictures. And right here, I just click on New to add one. So again, I'm on the front page. Upper left, I've got my little settings. I click it, Manage Home Flash. That flash is the term that we use for these background pictures on your home page. So I'm going to click on New. And on New, I want to title this Oregon Coast. And please note this right here. Image resolution should be a minimum of 1600 by 800 pixels or higher resolution with the same aspect ratio. Aspect ratio basically means 3 by 4, 4 by 6, 16 by 9. You've seen all of those. They have colons in between, and that's kind of the width and the height of the picture. So what we want is a picture that's at least 1600 pixels wide, that's left to right, 800 pixels high, that's top to bottom, okay, or the same ratio. And so if you wanted one that was slightly higher, you might add 200 pixels to that, but you'd only add 100 to here. So the ratio stays the same, 1800 by 900, okay? So I've already got a picture that I've resized in Photoshop that's 1600 by 800. So I'm going to click on Choose File. When I do that, I've got this picture over here that I saved. I click Open. Now, right here, Blue Mist, okay, it's got the name of the file there. It's just asking me if I want to save it. If I've got multiple pictures in the system, I can actually order this if I want to be the first, second, or third, or whatever I want to do. I'll only have one after I put this in, so I'm just going to put one, but I don't have to put anything there if I don't want to, okay? So I've got my file ready to go. I've got my title, and I've got the order as number 1. I'm going to click on Save. Now, during the save process here, it takes a few seconds. That probably took 2, because it needs to upload the file. But once it does that, it gives you a message, Modification Complete. When I click OK, it's going to reload the page for me. And there's my Oregon Coast picture. Okay? So now that I've loaded a picture in here, that's the only picture that's going to be there. So the other pictures that were previously there, they're still there in the background, but we're not showing them. All we're doing is showing your picture that you uploaded. All right? So if I wanted to upload multiples and have my own little slideshow, I would just do the same thing again. Go to Settings, Manage Home Flash, and I would click here on New. So I can modify this picture, I can remove this picture, or I can click on a new picture. And then once you have multiple pictures, when you go to Modify, that's where you can change the order. Okay? So it's as simple as that. Let's click out of here. What we've got is in 30 seconds or 60 seconds or however long that took, we've got a new picture of our background that's personalized to us. Okay? So be very sensitive about the quality of shots that you want to put on here. We've already got some great pictures in there. Pictures of your dog's head that is the size of the screen probably don't look great on the website, but at the end of the day, whatever brands you will, and list homes is what we want to do. So anyway, let's go ahead and remove this picture. We're going to go back up here to Manage Home Flash. And right here is the picture. We're going to click on Remove. Are you sure you want to do this? I do. It says it was removed successfully. It's going to reload the page. And it's right back to the normal flash that was still there. It was just in the background so you couldn't see it. All right, so if you upload a couple pictures, they look terrible, and don't freak out. Just go ahead and remove those pictures. And it's not like we're going to leave a blank page. We're going to take you right back to where you started. Okay, so that was lesson number 1, and that's probably the easiest lesson for today. Now what we're going to do, let's take a look at our Word document, is we're going to go through adding a new navigation menu tab. Okay, so adding a new tab on the menu. All right, so let's remind ourselves where we are. We're on the home page of our website. We got here by going to our home from the MyConnect system and hitting Web Builder. That brings us to here, and we've got the top menu ready to go. So up on the top here, I've already got communities, services, sellers, buyers, search listings. You all have one more tab on the side that I don't have here called My Links. Okay, so pretty much everybody has a My Links tab. It's all the stuff that we brought over from the old Agent Achieve system. So if I want to add another one over here, I'm going to click on this little plus sign. Okay, so again, we're not talking about adding pages right now. We're talking about adding these menu items. So let's say I want to add a special one that talks about my social networks. So I'm going to click plus, and it's going to say Navigator Item. So label is going to be the name of the item. Okay, so social networks is what it's going to be. I don't want to make it a link because I'm going to put some things underneath it. So at that stage, I just leave this blank. And where do I want it to sit up there? Do I want it first, or do I want it after search listings? See right here, we've got search listings, so I could put it right between those two. I could put it after buyers, right between those two. You get the idea. We're going to go ahead and leave it first. Now, this right here, open, type, native, or new window, that means when someone clicks it, if it has a link, do I want to open it in my website here, or do I want to open it in a new window, in a new tab up here, so my website stays open in the background? So if you're going to send somebody off your site, somewhere like Facebook, you would want them to open in a new window. But if we're just going to keep things on existing pages that we're going to build that are within your site, then you can go ahead and just keep it on native. So I click on Add, it refreshes the page, and there's my new tab. So my new tab is Social Networks. So let's say I spelled it wrong and I need to modify it. I just go up to this little pencil and I can modify. Let's say I am not ready to put anything underneath here yet, so I just want to hide it. I go and hit this little trash can, and that'll get rid of it. Okay? So what did we just cover? We've got the home page of the website. On the upper right-hand corner, we click the plus symbol. And some people are getting confused between adding a tab, okay, the little plus symbol, and then up here and adding a new page. So make sure you see in line with the tabs is the little plus sign, and then up here is the actual pages menu. So I've got my social networks piece here. I'm all good to go. Now what we want to do is create a page that's going to go underneath the social networks page. So at that stage, I am going to go up to my page options here, and the only thing I can do is add a new page. So I want to click on New Page. And I can choose one of these existing layouts. Here I can name the page Training Day Tuesday. And I apologize, I messed with my browser beforehand, so I'll shrink it down a little bit to get to this button here, and we click on Create. So I've got my Training Day Tuesday page. We drop in a bunch of text or pictures sometimes if you actually have pictures there. In fact, let's choose a different layout. Let's go back here and get rid of this page. So I want to show you these pictures and how we can do that. So we're going to go do this again. We're going to click on New Page. And down here, we're going to click one that actually has some pictures ready to go. So let's do this one right here. So we've got this gridded layout for you, and if any of you have clicked on this gridded layout and actually take a look, you'll see that we have, sorry, I need to name it, Training Day again, my bad. So we'll click on Create. Okay. So what we've done for you is we've put an image placeholder here, an image placeholder here, little text and header here, text and header here, placeholder here. Did a nice little page that you can just basically type over the top of things to make your own page. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to insert a photo here, and then I'm going to change some text up here. We're going to do a couple of different pieces here where it comes to hyperlinks. And then once we get down to the bottom, I'm going to show you how to embed a video. Okay. So I've got my basic page here. It's not named yet. I haven't really done anything to it. So this, again, is my little menu option up here. Anything I want to do with pages, we always want to look up here towards the top. So the first thing I want to do is edit this page. So I've created the page template. Now I want to make it editable. Okay. So once I do that, I can start clicking into the page and making changes. So all I did up here is click on Edit, and once I did that, it's now in edit mode. How do I know that I'm in edit mode? I click anywhere in the page, and the editor comes up. So again, I click anywhere in this page, and the editor comes up. So let's click this photo first, and I'm going to show you how to replace this with an actual photo itself. Okay, so again, up here we clicked on Edit, we clicked here, clicked on the editor, and now we're editing our new page. So we set up a tab, now we're creating a page that we're going to eventually put underneath this tab. Okay, all right, so this image here, and I'll tell you, this is the easiest way I have found to modify this placeholder image, and I'm going to right click. So if I right click here, it gives me properties that I can cut, copy, paste, or I can go directly to the image properties and replace those with my own photo. And I find that that's the easiest way to do this. It shows me where the placeholder is, and all I'm going to tell the system to do is remove your grayed out file and replace it with my picture. So again, I'm on this picture, I right click my mouse, and then I go to image properties. So that brings up our dialog box, and it's going to ask us, okay, if you don't want that gray box in there, what do you want in there? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to browse because I want to upload my own photo. So I'm going to upload my own photo. I click on Browse Server. This nice little dialog box comes up. I click Choose File. So I go into that directory again where I had a couple of photos. So I'm going to grab this photo here. So I click on it and click Open. It shows me that I've got the photo ready to go, and I'm going to hit Submit. And at that point down here at the bottom, it shows me it's uploading, and then it gives me a little preview window. All right? So I went ahead and clicked Browse Server, and then I clicked the file on my desktop, and I loaded it into the system. So it says here it's in the uploads, and here's the name of the file. Now, when it comes into the system, it may not come in the right width or height to fill this whole section. And I'll tell you, this is the trick to know about this section of text editing, is this width is 1080 pixels wide. And so I think we'll probably put that in a note somewhere on here, because a lot of people are wanting to do photos that span the entire top and don't get cropped out and center perfectly, that's 1080 pixels. Okay? So let's assume that you already know that. Down here, I can change the width of this photo to fill that entire space. So right now I'm looking at the photo, and it's the photo that I uploaded. I've got my little lock on, and what this lock means is when I change my width, watch my height. It's going to change proportionally so the picture doesn't get stretched. That's what the lock does. So watch my height as I change my width to 1080. So the height changed with it, which gives me the full span of this entire section. I click OK, and there it is. So there's my picture. It fills the whole space very, very nicely. It takes up that spot that I had there, and I've got a nice header image for my new page. Nice and simple. If I want to change this picture again, I just do the same thing. I click it to select it. My editor comes up so I know I'm in edit mode, and I right click and I go back to image properties. Okay, but I'm going to click cancel because I like how it sits. I click out of it so I can see it, and I'm going to scroll down the page and do a few more things. So let's say I've got my picture up there. Okay, let's do it again over here to the left-hand side. So I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to click Image Properties. I see Browse Server, and so I'm going to go grab another photo. I'm going to choose photos from my desktop. I'm going to choose something that's a little bit more horizontal, and let's see if it'll go in there and push that text down. So I click Open. I click Submit. It uploads it to the system. I can see the photo. It's what I want. I've got width and height that's already set per this image, and so I'm going to click OK, and there it is. So I've got a decent looking page going already. So I've got a nice header image. I've got a nice left-hand side image, fairly symmetrical. If I want to change this text, all I do is I click into the text and I can type right over the top. So this is my social networking page. Okay. If I like all this wonderful Latin text, I'll just leave it, and I can just hard return and start my own right here. This is how you email me. This is how you link to another page. And as you guessed, those are the two things we're going to do next. Okay. So we've been editing our page. We changed out a header. Okay. We changed out this picture right here. If we want to save our work, just to make sure as we continue to go, it's always a smart idea. We scroll up to the top to the options menu and we just click on save. Okay. So we've now just saved this. Once you do that though, you do need to go back into edit mode. It's a little confusing, but once we save it, we kind of lock it, and so you can't make any damage to it. But if you want to come back up here and go to edit, that's what we would have to do. How do we know we're in edit mode? We click and the picture gets selected, and the bigger thing is our editor bar gets up. Okay, so let's take a look where we're at here. So adding a picture on the home page flash, we did that. We did a new navigation menu tab. Okay, adding a new page, we're in the process of doing that, but while we're doing that, I want to show you these other things too. So adding an image to our new page, we just did that and showed you that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make a link on our new page, and then the last thing we'll do is embed some video. Okay? Then we'll play around a little bit with the menu and the navigation. I'll show you how to get this page exactly where you want it on your site. So right now we're going to make a hyperlink on our new page. So we've got our picture there, pretty happy with how this is looking. Now we want to do at the end of our text here, we want to do some sort of a contact me request, right? This is how you email me. And so let's do this. This is how you email me, click here. And what we want is we want this click here to open up an outgoing mail in their Outlook. In other words, if your client's on the site, they click here, it'll open up a tab in whatever mail program that they use that they can email you and do, bypass a contact form and just do a direct email to you. So Here's how we create hyperlinks. There's two kinds of hyperlinks I'm going to teach you. The first is a mail to hyperlink. The second is hyperlink to another page somewhere on the web. So the first one here, the mail to, we say click here and we highlight it. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is tell the system, I want this to do something a little bit different. So we go up here to our editor. Okay, we've got all of this juicy stuff up here, and we have no idea what it is, but we're going to look for the little chain link. So that little chain link, and you can see it right here, is kind of the universal hyperlink symbol. Once you click it, we're going to get a dialog box that kind of asks what kind of a link do we want that to be. Okay, so again, I'm going to click it, and I get this information. So the first thing is link info, link type. Do I want it to link to somewhere else on this page? Do I want it linked to another URL? In other words, do I want it to link to maybe my Facebook page? And I'm going to show you that one in a second. The first one we're going to do is an email. I actually want it to be an email. So I click email. Okay. And then the email address is, what email is it going to go to? So this would be your email address, because remember, someone's going to be on this site and they're going to want to contact you, and they're going to click here expecting for their system to send you or open up an email that's going to go directly to you. So this email address is going to be yours. So for me, it would be kenelmer@idcglobal.com, kind of. Okay, so Ken Elmer, so that's where you want it to go. Now, if you want to, you can actually fill in and pre-fill a subject and the actual message body itself to get them started. So something like contact from my website, kenelmer.thhhsdrysdale.com. And then you can start with the message body as well. If you want to. Okay, now you don't have to fill those ones out, but you do need to fill out this where is it supposed to go email address, this first one right here. Okay, so once we do that, we click OK, and you can see that this has changed a little bit. So the style of the website, everything that is an actual link gets highlighted and put in the Cabernet. But for some people, they would like that underlined as well, because people just like to see underlines for links. So in that case, we would just select it, and we don't have to go up and do the hyperlink. Don't have to do any of that anymore. All we do is go over here to underline, just like in a Word doc, and click underline. Now, let's say you did that and you built the link incorrectly, and you need to delete that, but you don't want to delete the text. You can see what popped up right here is the little link with an X, and that's an unlink symbol, and you would just click that, and this whole thing would disappear. But we're not going to do that because we're actually going to show you how this thing works in a few minutes. So that's the first type of link that you can build, is a mail to link. So it's great. You can ask people to contact you, ask them to email you, whatever you need, and embed that in anywhere you want to in your page. It doesn't have to be a piece of text here. You could make this whole header be an email to link. Okay? The other is, this is how you link to another page. So we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to actually link to an outside page source. Okay? So this is how you link to another page. So we're going to highlight this. Okay? We're going to go back up here and say I want this to be a link, because I want this to link to another page. So I click on link. Now, my link types, do I want it to link to somewhere else on this page? That's what an anchor is. We're not going to teach that today, and it's fairly useless for what you guys are doing unless you're building super long pages. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. I just showed you how to do the email, but we're just going to leave it at URL. So basically, we just need to type in here what URL it's going to go to. Okay, so we already have our http:// so www.facebook.com/KenElmer7. Okay, if we needed to browse and actually go find a link, we could from there, or you could just open up another tab here, go browse and look at all the stuff you needed to, and then come back after you cut and paste or copied and paste or whatever. But I know that, I'm pretty sure, I never go on Facebook, but I'm pretty sure that's my Facebook address. I'm going to click OK, and as you can see, we've got, this is how you link to another page. Okay, again, it's not underlined because that's not the style we have for the site. So if you would like to underline it, you can. You just highlight it and click underline. All right, so we just created, and we'll click out of the page to get rid of our browser there, but we're still in edit mode. This is how you email. This is how you link to another page. Okay, so we just created two hyperlinks. One's a mail to link, and one is a URL link. Now, we've done some changes to the page, so we definitely want to come up here and save it. So let's do that. Options, save. All right, so let's say I am fairly happy with my page. Let's do our video next before we get rid of this page. So we are going to do inserting a video into your new page. Now, I'm going to assume that the video lives somewhere else on the web. So this isn't going to be about uploading a video. Typically, you would take a video, you would either upload it to Vimeo, or you might upload it to YouTube, and this is going to show you how to grab that video and embed it on your page so it looks like it just sits on your page. So the first thing we're going to do is figure out where we want it. So we've got to be in edit mode. Did you notice I was clicking on this stuff and nothing happened? Because I'm not in edit mode. So up here, I click on edit. I click in here. I know I'm in edit mode. That's good. So I'm going to get to a place where I can drop in a nice big video, and I want it to be at the end of the page. So you can see my cursor over here at the left. It's nice and tiny, okay? And the editor is now down below because we drop it down to the bottom of the page just for ease. So let me give me one more space. I'll make a hard return. So it's right here, okay? Now I got to find what video I want. So let's go to YouTube. So everybody loves cat videos. So I'm going to go ahead and search for cat videos. This looks like a great cat video. I'm not a cat person, but I could probably get into that cat video. So this is a cat video that I want, and I would really like to have this video on my specific page. So I'm going to go to YouTube, and when I'm on YouTube, down here, there's this little button called Share. So what we want to do is we want to share. Let me click on Share. And once we do that, we can use this little phrase called embed. So once I click there, you've got this nice little snip of code. It starts with iframe, and it kind of defines the height and the width, and it says where is this coming from. And it's just a nice little simple piece, and it comes pre-highlighted. So all you have to do is right-click it and hit copy. Because we just need that little snip, and that little snip right there, we are going to actually drop right in to the system, and it's going to have this video on our existing page. So I'm going to go back here to our page. We're still in the editor. All I did is I jumped out to YouTube, jumped back in. Now, we could go into the source, but I'm going to make it a little bit easier for you. We inserted this little button here at the end of this little line. So this line here has got some image interesting things. If you want to do Flash, you can insert Flash. If you want to put in a table, it's a little bit more code, a little bit more funky here, but at the end it says YouTube. You can actually just embed a YouTube video. So I'm going to click on that, and it says paste embed code here. So I'm going to click in there, and I'm going to hit paste. So there's my code that I copied from the YouTube. I click OK, and look, I got my cat video. Everybody needs a cat video. If I want my cat video centered, I just select it like I would a picture, and right here, I just click center. I can right justify it if I wanted to, do whatever I want. The reason why it comes this size is we told it when we grabbed it, we said, here, let me show you right here. We said height is 560. Sorry, width is 560 and the height is 315. If you want to get creative and play with those to make it bigger, just change them. But if you change them out of ratio, if you make this like 800 and leave this 315, it's going to look really distorted. Okay? So I got my cat video, super happy about that. I've got all the rest of the changes that I want. I've got my hyperlinks. I've got my header here. I'm going to go up here and click save. Save my page. and I might be logged out, so that could be why it says save. I think I am logged out, so I'm going to log back in. Sorry, the system has some security parameters, and so let me just log in real quick, and we'll go back to the last generation of that page. So I'm logging back into MyConnect. I'm on the home page. I'm going to go to Web Builder. I'm going to load Web Builder, and I'm going to go to my existing drafts. Okay, so here's another thing to note. So we did save that page a couple times before we got to the end, and in that process, the system saved it as a draft. So if I click on that draft, I've got training day again, and I click here, and here's the page. Now, I didn't have this changed at the bottom, so we'll embed that video real quick. We'll click here to Options. We'll click Edit. I'll scroll back down and do exactly what we did. We will click on YouTube. It's probably still in my clipboard. There it is. Now we'll go back up here. We'll click on Save. Okay, so the page is saved. Now, before I want to publish this page somewhere on my tab in my menu, okay, right now the page is just called unnamed because the page doesn't have a title. It's got a name, Training Day Again, because that's the name we gave the page, but that's not the same as the title on the top of the page. So where do we find that title on the top of the page? We find it when we go into Edit and we go to Page Attributes. Okay, so we're going to do 2 or 3 seconds here on page attributes and how these work, especially when it comes to SEO. So here, page attributes, I've got title. That title is going to be whatever is going to be in the header right here, and it's also going to be the name of this tab up here at the top. So right now it just says Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Drysdale Properties. Okay, but if I change the title to Social Page Training Session, okay, that's what that new title is going to be at the top of the page. So keywords are for SEO, and Google hasn't looked at keywords for at least 7 years, so I wouldn't worry about putting any keywords in the system. Description is the description that is actually seen if this gets picked up on a web page. So the description for this page would be something like see Ken Elmer social network information and lots of great real estate cat videos. Okay. Social media title. If you share this page to Facebook, this is what's going to come up as the title of that page. Social media in the cat video age. And then the description would be the longer version of that. Usually this will work just fine. So I'm going to click Save. Refresh my page. Social Page Training Session. You see, then the title is right there. You see it's also on the tab, Social Page Training Session. And so that is now the public title of that page. Internally, we named it Training Day Again, right here. But the title of the page and how we've got it set up is Social Page Training Session. Okay. So we are not in edit mode. Oh, we are. I'm sorry. So we are going to save. Now we are not in edit mode. And now we're good with the page. And so we would like to take this page and move it onto our site. Okay. So I don't need this page in my drafts anymore because I want to actually make this page live. And so from here, I'm going to click in to this slide over here, and I'm going to click Publish. The important thing to note is if you don't publish a page and just save it, we assume it's not ready to be published to the world, which is really important because we really want it to be right for you before you actually let the world see it. And so we ask you to do this one extra step, which is basically move it just from a saved draft to publish. So we click on Publish. You can see my little drafts now went to 0 because I have nothing in drafts. My published pages went to 2, the one I did this morning, and this one I just did. And so this page is now published, but it doesn't show up anywhere until you tell me where it's supposed to go. Okay? So this page is published. This is the address of the page. Okay, this is the URL of the page. I'm going to tell you in a second why that's super important. So I want to put it under social networks. And so I'm going to just roll over social networks, and I'm going to click on new. I click new. So I would like a new menu item under social networks. And it's going to be social page training session. That's the name of this page, and I want to make it the same thing. You don't always have to, but you know, in this case, I'd like to. And then it's asking me, where is that actual label going to link to? I come back up here, I click there, I hit copy, I click here, and I hit paste. Again, what we've told the system is, under social networks, I'm going to add a menu item that says social page training session, and it's going to be this page. And this page we know is active because I published it, and so it doesn't have any other codes after the end. It's got a nice friendly URL, looks good. Do I want it first in line? Yes, because it's the only menu item. And do I want to open it up in my existing site, or do I want to open it up on a new window, obviously on the existing site? So I click add. Okay. Now I roll over social networks, and there it is. A new item called social page training session. I can add another menu item under that one, so you can go too deep, you know, so you can go here and then another child category after that. Gets a little bit confusing for people, but at the end of the day, if you need to, I can also hide this or get rid of it by just hitting the garbage can. I can edit it by hitting the edit menu, or if I want to add more, just down and make this a nice long link, I just add new, and I would continue to add pages. Okay? Now, let's do one more little trick, and then we'll go check everything, make sure it looks good. The last thing I want to do is show you under social networks or any kind of page you have. Let's say all you want to do is add a link somewhere up here under maybe social networks to find me on Facebook. You wouldn't have to set up an entire page for that, because the system, again, is just going to grab this link or whatever link you tell it to and make that menu item. So I don't have to worry about new tabs. I've already got the tabs I want. I don't have to worry about pages or anything. I'm just going to go over to social networks and click on new. From here, find me on Facebook. And then the system says, where do you want to link that to? And I'm going to say http://www.facebook.com/KenElmer7, I think. Maybe that's someone else. Do I want that to be first? Yeah, let's go ahead and make it first, and we'll make social page training session second. So I click on first, and now this time it's going to leave the site because it's going to Facebook. So open type, I want to open it in a new window. I click add, refreshes the page, and there it is. Find me on Facebook. If I click that, we're going to jump to a different site. If I click here, we're going to jump to this page. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to log out. We're going to come to this page just like we were a user, and let's see if everything looks good. So over here, I click settings and I click log out. So I'm on my page. Remember, I changed out this photo here to the Oregon Coast photo, but then I went back and deleted it. So this is exactly how it should look. Okay, so I've got my community services, and I've got this new tab called social networks. Find me on Facebook. And if you look down in the left-hand corner of the screen down here, when I roll over, it's going to go to facebook.com/KenElmer7. So we won't click it now, but we know it's going to go to the right place. Let's click on social page training session. That should stay on the site and take us to our new page. So again, we just rolled over here, went to social page training session. This is the page we created. Here's your header. Here's the new photo. Here's the pretty people photo. This is my social networking page. This is how you email me. Let's see if that worked. Click. Look at that. Contact from my website, kenelmer.bhhsdrysdale.com. Hey, Ken, I wanted to reach out. See, it's already pre-filled in. It's going here. It opened up in my default email system, which is Outlook. So that worked great. We'll just close that. This is how you link to another page. And you can see at the bottom left, it's going to link to Facebook. I hope Yeah, that's not me. That's not the right Ken Elmer. All right, that was embarrassing. Okay, sounds good. So anyway, good. I think that covers all the stuff we wanted to cover. Let's pull it up. Adding a picture on the home page, we did that. Adding a new navigation menu item, we did that. Adding a new page, we went through and added a page, and we did images, videos, and links, and got all those taken care of. All right, good. So let's go back here. Oh, let's see if our cat video plays. There we go. So the cat video plays right in your page. It does not link to YouTube. If people can even make it big screen if they want to, which would be crazy. But there. So linking a video, there it is. Or actually it's embedding a video, not even linking it. But you don't lose traffic from your site. That's why that's so important. And everything looks good. Okay. So I will go back to the home page. And I'm going to open up the chat window. We're exactly 45 minutes. So we've got about 15 more minutes. I see we've got 5 chat things on here. Let me pull it open, and then I'll try and answer these out loud, and we'll go from there. All right, Greg asks, is there a limit to how many pages someone can have? There's not. We don't have a limit in the system. Here's what I will tell you, though. All of these pages and all the entire site is built to be very mobile responsive. So what that means is that if you're on your iPhone and someone goes to one of your websites and clicks on a menu item that has 28 different items, their menu is going to go way past what they can see on their iPhone. It's just going to be unfunctional. So if you have that many menu items, spread them out over different tabs. So maybe you might have neighborhoods and you want to put 20 different neighborhood pages. Break them down into maybe areas. So downtown Fresno, Fresno West Side, Fresno condos, and then take those 20 things that you were, and then breaking them up between those would be a better way to do the menu items as opposed to having big, huge, long menus. Those are difficult for mobile. Okay? So Shelly, you're asking here, so I have a question here. Shelly says she's created 3 pages using the first or plain page layout. Okay, so the templates we had, my guess is what Shelly you're saying is that you pick just the open layout and you can't delete them after you've created them. But the other layouts, you can delete them after you created them. So what you're saying is you go to the pages and you go to that page and click on delete and it doesn't go anywhere, but the other ones that does, that's probably a bug. And if that's the case, we've probably taken that template and locked it down. So I would just shoot a ticket over to support and let me know the pages that won't delete so we can find out where that is in the system and we can have that knocked out quickly. So Lindsay asks, is there an undo button in the editing page in case you delete your link right after you create it? Actually, Control-Z works great, just like in a Word document. So if you delete your link right after you create it for some crazy reason, hit Control-Z and your last change will go. And I think it keeps like at 5 or 6 changes. So if you keep hitting Control-Z, 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 then it will actually go ahead and keep undoing all the things that you've done. So if you want to upload a video from your phone, that's a great question. So if you want to upload a video from your phone, this is what I would recommend. And this is how we've seen a lot of successful real estate companies and individuals do it. Go to YouTube and get a YouTube channel. It's free, and it brands you, and it's another way for you to be found in search engine optimization. Upload your videos there because YouTube will store them for free. They will hard code them and process them for free. They will always look the best there. And then once you do that, you can do exactly what I showed you. Just go find your video, go to your channel. Like I think my channel used to be youtube.com/KenElmer7 or BrickHouseKen or something like that. Just go there. You'll see all of your videos. It gives you a chance to brand yourself. It's a nice little experience. And then you can use the same embed code and the same system we did from that channel, from all your different videos, and do it that way. Okay? John, can I remove or hide the sold listings at the bottom of the homepage? Good question. If you go into the listings tab, and that's not something we're training on today, but you can modify your sold properties there. Actually hiding the whole thing, I think you just delete everything out of the sold listings. And if you can't figure out how to do that, I would reach out to Greg. I think he's had some work. Greg and Andy have been able to do some stuff on the modify of the solds. One of the next sessions I'm sure we're going to do is modifying your featured listings and modifying your sold listings in the back end, as well as some tricks with the property investment profiles. So stay tuned if you can't figure it out from there, and we will have another advanced training for that. Can you please go over the second to the last training item? So Lisa, are you asking the second to the last training item from our Word doc here? Adding an image into the new page. Lisa, why don't you shoot me a note here and say, and ask if that's what you're asking for. Would you be specific if you could? Lisa, on your chat post, can you go over the second to the last training item? Let me know exactly what you'd like me to go over again, and I can. So John, you've got a remove hide question. Actually, you just put remove hide. I'm assuming you have a question on how to remove or hide something. That's good. Let me show you that real quick, everybody. So some people have come and they've said, hey, I don't want this services, or I don't want the buyers and sellers information. I want to replace that with something unique to me. So let's log back in to Web Builder. We click on Web Builder. It's going to load up my Web Builder. I'm good to go. If I roll over these, okay, so if I roll over buyers and just click this little trash can, that actually hides it. Next time I come to the site, anytime that I'm in editing mode here, you'll see it, but you won't see it publicly because it'll be hidden. So if I come back to here and I see it and I want to unhide it, I would just click the little pencil tab and it would say, would you like to unhide buyers? So that's how you remove these menu items, by just clicking one of these little trash cans, and all it really does is hides it on the public view. You'll still be able to see it from here. There's a ton of great content, especially in the communities tab. That helps everybody with keeping people on your site longer when they can kind of mess around with all those different communities and see all that stuff. So it's great stuff, but if for some reason you didn't want it, you just go ahead and hide it. But we wanted to make sure that you can easily get it back. And so once you do that, you'll come back. You'll see it here, but you won't see it on the front-facing site. When you're in editing mode, you'll see it. So John, you're asking, can you add an IDX feed for your neighborhood farm in place of the listings on your homepage? You can't do a saved search. I think that's what you're asking for, like a saved search and then featured listings that automatically update. Well, I'm thinking this thing through. There might be some functionality to be able to do that. I tell you what, when we do the advanced training on the featured listings and the sold properties, I'll see if we can add a widget there that would allow you to do a saved search for that. That's one of the upgrade features that we are going to turn on here in the next quarter or two. So we'll put that in the priorities, but I think that would be great. And it's the first time I've heard that, but I'm sure several people are asking for something like that. The idea that on the front face of your agent website, you can have dedicated featured listings that are more consistent with maybe an area that you're farming or a neighborhood that you regularly work. Okay. All right. You bet. Thank you, John. Okay, that's all the questions, everybody. I'll stick around for about 5 minutes. If anyone has any questions, please type them into the message chat window. And I hope this was beneficial for everyone. Thank you all. I appreciate it a ton. And we will see you on our next advanced training. Okay, thanks. For those of you that did stick on, one of the things we haven't covered, but we did release 3 other templates. If you want to play around with the templates in the system, click on Settings and change Layout. And once you do that, I've noticed that a couple of browsers sometimes, the Select and Preview are cut off at the top. So we'll be adjusting this and moving it down and reducing it tonight. But if you just hit, go down a little bit, zoom out a little bit on your browser, it fixes that. So you can scroll through and see some of the new templates. It has your branding at the top of the page. So this one here has got some nice branding and a search window. This one here has got just a bunch of agent interesting stuff, and we've removed the actual one-click search, and they can click through these advanced features here. This one here is kind of nice. It's got kind of a search for homes, which is symmetrical with your branding up on top with advanced search features turned on. So we've got some nice little template pieces. If you just see the one you want, you click Preview. It actually loads it right there in your browser, so you can see exactly how it looks. So I will make sure tonight that we get this little thing kind of moved down a little bit so you can see that better. But these were just released this week and gives you some real variation in how you want your look and feel to be at the top of the website. So good stuff. Dan, I see your chat here. Will we be able to edit the transparency or the color on a layout template? Typically, no, because those are the branding colors of the company. But if we want to do some transparency pieces or making some of the sections cream, we could make those options. That wouldn't be too difficult at all. And I think that would be a great next step to do some of that variation on these templates instead of doing more templates. That will give us almost an unlimited amount of variation. So yeah, that's good. Send that support ticket over to support, and we'll get that prioritized with the template work. Great, thanks, Dan. That's a good idea, though. And I think doing that on these templates would be better than adding more templates at this stage. Let's do variations on these existing templates, and that'll give people like an unlimited amount of combinations that they can do, as opposed to just picking template after template after template. Give them a little bit of more uniqueness. So good call. All right, everybody, I'm going to close down the meeting. Have a wonderful afternoon in sunny California. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.